down for and Thomas, a beautiful catch at the far.
Well, hello, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video, and welcome to the Gridiron. And before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can give this video a thumbs up, or maybe leave a comment below, or possibly share this video, it would mean so much to me. But anyway, just please thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Well, another wonderful day, huh? Oh, man, it always feels so good the day after the Giants victory, does it? But first, before I talk about the Giants victory, how about them Cowboys, huh? How about them Cowboys? Man, they looked good, didn't they? Yesterday, down 30-0 at home. Man, they got two absolute, pretty much garbage time touchdowns to make it even somewhat respectable. But they're at home, losing 30-0 to the Denver Broncos. Man, I loved it. What a day. And then to top that all off, at the 4 o'clock game, the Eagles lost at home too. On a last second field goal, they lost to the Chargers 27-24. Man, I loved it. Giants win, the Cowgirls lost, Eagles lost. Man, what a great day. I guess Dak, I guess maybe he just, they're saying he was looking. I mean, at one point I think he was like 12 out of 30. I mean, Denver's got a nice secondary. I think Surtain got hurt, and I'm not even sure if he came back, but Dak was like at one point was like 12 out of 30. I mean, really, I don't even think he maybe had like 100 yards passing at that point in time or something. It just really looked horrible. They were saying he was rusty. He missed the whole all last season. Well, a lot of last season. Had the off because of his the injury he got. And in week 1 he came back and he just started moving him up and down the field, scoring all kinds of points and getting him all kinds of yards and everything. But he misses basically one game. He comes back and he looks rusty. I think maybe that calf was bothering him a little bit. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But the Giants are still, what, 4 games out of first place. I mean, But it's just good to get a victory, isn't it? Now, we're going to the bye. All right, 3-6. I mean, obviously, I mean, we actually beat the Washington football team because Dexter Lawrence was not offside. So the Giants, in a perfect world, if the refs didn't blow the game for us, right, the Giants should be 4-5. One of the most uninspiring, boring, dulling, unbelievably pathetic games to watch is when we lost at home to the Falcons. Should have beat them. Could have been 5-4. Then last week against the Chiefs, we had that game. It was an outcome. We could have won that one. But the thing is, when the season's over with, you look back and it's like, yeah, we won it. We actually beat the Washington football team. The rest, we could have won this one. If we actually decided to play some football this day, we could have won that one. And you're like, man, that's like 3 victories. We're like, I'm just saying we're 6-11. Just throwing numbers out there. Now, if we won those 3 games, right, we'd been 9-8, and we'd have a winning record, and things wouldn't look so, But it's just that these games they just keep coming. Obviously one right after the other, but there ain't no do-overs. I mean, as I said, the refs blew the game against Washington. We still could have won that game, but I mean, if the refs didn't blow that call against Dexter Lawrence, we win that one. I mean, if you can go back in time and play some inspired football, Eli Manning's he's got his jersey retired at halftime, and you guys lose to the Falcons 17-4. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, the game against the Chiefs. I mean, once the games are over, you can't get them back. Once the plays during the game are all, you can't get them back. You got to make the most of them. It's we're more than, it's unbelievable, but we're more than halfway through this season. We've already played 9 games. Only got 8 left to go. More than halfway through. And we're 3-6. And the games we could have, should have won, we can't get them back. But anyway, it's nice to go into the break on the bye. I'm sorry, with the win. 3-6 still sounds really sad, but 3-6, 2-7, any day. And he could also look like this too. The Giants won 2 out of their last 3, and if they didn't want to shoot themselves in the foot, they could have won 3 in a row. I don't certainly want to say easily, but they could have beaten the Chiefs. Could you imagine winning 3 games in a row? Huh? But anyway, on to the game from yesterday. I want to start with the offensive side, like some special teams. Okay, first, and then we'll get to the defense. Riley Dixon did a really, really good job. 48.7 yard average. Very, very good. He had 3 punts inside the 20. Good job. Which is huge because the way the Raiders were yesterday, the Giants bend but don't break was exactly what happened yesterday. I think the Raiders punted twice all day. So the Giants stopped the Raiders the Raiders had 3 turnovers. Okay, and then they punted twice. But the Raiders pretty much every time they got the ball, they just started moved it up and down the field. The Raiders had over 403 yards. I think the Giants had 245. So the Raiders had over 150 yards more than the Giants did. But anyway, Graham Gano, nice job, buddy. 2 for 2 on extra points, 3 for 3 on field goals. Once again, he's 19 out of 21 for the season. He's averaging about 90% on his field goal tries. Another solid season so far for Graham Gano. We're very lucky we got him. Very, very lucky. Farrell Cooper, he paid off. I didn't think going into the game, as far as like a wide receiver or anything like that, but he had 2 punt returns and he averaged 13 yards in a per punt return. He was an All-Pro for a reason, okay? And the thing is that when we lost Jabrill Peppers or Dante Pettis, Dante Pettis would get in the game, maybe catch a ball or so. Jabrill Peppers obviously would get in the game, but he would return the punch too. But so Farrell Cooper is if we start getting some guys healthy, he might have a hard time getting him actually on the field as a wide receiver. But hopefully, we got ourselves our punt returner for the rest of the season. That would be big. That would be huge. If he can get us, average 10 to 15 yards on a punt return, that'd be absolutely phenomenal. Evan Ingram, all right, he only caught 3 passes for 38 yards, all right, but one of them, that was a nice throw from Daniel Jones, really good throw, and it was a great catch. You got to give the man some props. Sometimes he can make catches like that. It's just simply amazing. And then other times, like he'll run, I don't know, whatever the heck it is, he'll run like 10 yards, a turnaround or something, and hit the ball. Right here, it goes right through his hands to the defender, and it's an interceptor. Or he'll run, and he'll slip down, and the ball go over his head and right into the defender. But then you see something like that, just jumped up. That's what he can do. That's what he can do. Even if you got, like it was like I can't remember, it was a cornerback or safety on him. So that they pretty much keep up with his speed, but they can't, but he's got the height advantage, and something like that can happen. And that just happened to be the only touchdown on offense the Giants scored all day. Right? So, very, very good. Devontae Booker, 21 rushes, 99 yards. He had 3 receptions for 23 yards. He had 122 yards total offense. And that's the second straight 100 yard performance he had. Last week, against the Chiefs, I think he had 60 yards rushing, 65 yards receiving. He had 125 total yards. Yesterday he had 122 total yards. So back-to-back 100-yard performances from Devontae Booker. And he almost had 100 yards rushing. Very, very good. Unfortunately, he left in the fourth quarter. What I was saying was like a hip injury, so I have to keep an eye on that. It would be a shame. I mean, you would hope that we got the bye, and when we play the Buccaneers on Monday nights, and not even on Sunday. We got that extra day. Hopefully, Saquon will be back. Okay, but it would sure be nice to have Devontae Booker as his backup, because as what you see, Devontae can run the ball, and Devontae can catch the ball. Okay, so Devontae is huge. I mean, we're lucky we got him. Okay, is he the greatest back in the league? No, but he runs tough. Okay, behind our offensive line, he had 99 yards rushing. Okay, and and he can certainly catch the ball as well too. Now the Raiders, their defensive front, okay, is good against the pass. It wasn't good against the run. So the Giants obviously took advantage of what the Raiders, their weakness was. Okay, Elijah Penny. All right, he came in. He had 5 rushes for 35 yards. Which was like after Devontae went out, Elijah came in. He was ran the ball very well. Elijah's had some good runs this year. I mean, he ain't breaking off no 50, 60 yarder. I mean, unless the whole defense just falls down, But he's a good, hard, tough runner, and north and south, and he's had quite a few runs this year. 5, 6, 7, 8 yards, whatever. So good for him. All right. As I said, hopefully in 2 weeks we'll get Saquon back. Daniel Jones, very efficient. 15 out of 20, 75% completion. I think it was like 110 yards. We had the 1 touchdown, a beautiful pass to Evan Ingram. No interceptions. Okay. Quarterback rating 104.2. He had the 2 sacks in the first half. Obviously, the one of them was, I think, Ngakoue. Blew past, I think, Parrott. And got Daniel Jones, from the blind side, knocked the ball out of his hands, and the Raiders wound up getting it. So, if Andrew Thomas was in there, would Ngakoue have gotten there? Maybe not. But also to the Giants' credit, offensive line wise, okay, they gave up 3 sacks in the first half. One was Darius Toney. He was trying to throw the ball down deep, and he I guess wisely was covered, and he wound up holding on to it. So he took a sack. So basically, Daniel Jones got sacked just 2 times. None in the second half. Okay, so apparently the Giants made some adjustments at halftime, came out, and just ran their game plan for the second half, and didn't allow no sacks in the second half. So that was good. The Giants had 31 rushes, 149 yards, 4.8 yards per carry. All right, the Raiders going into the game were like one of the worst in the league, giving up 4.6 yards per rush. Okay, so the Giants attacked the Raiders' defense weakness, which is the run game. And the Giants, even with their bad offensive line, were able to churn out 4.8 yards per carry. Fantastic. The Giants were 6 for 12 on 3rd down conversions. Phenomenal. 50%. You can't complain about that at all. We only had the 1 turnover. Okay, that was on the strip sack. The fumble, that's because the left tackle got beat. But if Andrew Thomas was in there, might have been a little different story. Okay, but Daniel Jones, no interceptions. Okay, we had that one. He had the 1 interception last week, which wound up costing us. So nothing this week. All right, so that's what it was. It was like the Giants played, pretty much, mistake-free football, and for them to do that, as banged up as they are, their offensive line, they're missing 3 offensive line starters and all. That's how they had to win the football game, and that's what happened. That's what they wound up doing last week. For them to win the football game against the Chiefs, they had to play pretty much mistake-free. No turnovers, stupid penalties, stuff like that. And they had stupid penalties. They had a turnover, and just they wound up losing the game. Unfortunately, we were 0 for 2 in the red zone. So once again, we're not doing too good on that. We need to thankfully it didn't come back to bite us in the butt. But we were 0-2 in the red zone. Actually, we won the time of possession. That's because we ran the ball so much. Okay, the Raiders had over 150 yards more offense, but we won a time of possession because we ran the ball so much. We had the ball for over 30 minutes. All right, and it was the first time in 14 years, okay, the Giants won a football game without having 100 yards passing. Because if you take away the sack total, the Giants had under 100 yards passing. And we actually won the football game. So that's not easy to do. So that's not a recipe for success, okay? That's more or less a recipe for disaster. If you're only going to get like 95 yards passing per game, because we don't have that great of an offensive line to be able to run the ball that much. And we only had 4 penalties for 35 yards. Phenomenal compared to last week against the Chiefs. What a difference. And Daniel Jones and Kadarius Toney only got sacked 3 times, and all in the first half. And that changed, in the second half. They made some adjustments, and they did a lot of running in the second half, right? And it really worked out well. And we only had the 245 yards of offense compared to 403 for the Raiders. All right, so to get a victory with 245 yards of offense and less than 100 yards passing, I mean that's huge. All right. Again, hopefully we'll get Andrew Thomas back. Hopefully. In a couple weeks, and that would really, really help out the offensive line because the Giants could use some help, especially going up against the Bucs defensive line. Just to go into the second half of the season with Andrew Thomas. But I mean, it's he's having ankle problems and he's having foot problems. So he had the problems all last year, and he's having problems this year. Hopefully, this is not something that just continues for the rest of his career because when he's healthy, he's a good left tackle. He's somebody you can just pencil in for the next 10 years if he's healthy. All right, and we have the bye week, and hopefully we start getting some guys back. All right, and you got to give the offense credit. The first time we had the ball, 7 plays, 75 yards, 4 minutes, 14 seconds, right down the field, score a touchdown. Boom, and then that was it after that. So, but we got the W, all right? And on the defense, we got to start off at the top. The man, Xavier McKinney, the second rounder from last year. Yes, starting to pay some dividends, not huge. This is his second game, I believe, this year. He has 2 interceptions, right? Yeah, of course, he had the 1 pick six. He had 2 passes defensed, and he had 7 tackles. Phenomenal. I mean, he just sat on that one route, picked it off, took it to the house, 41 yards, I believe it was. And then that other one, it was just a car just threw it down deep, and Xavier looked like he was playing kind of center field, kind of like, okay, he just went over and just jumped up, came down, kept his feet in bounds, interception. Good. So if we let Jabrill Peppers go, at least we know. I mean, Logan Ryan, the dude's, he had another solid, another 9 tackles, okay? And what we're doing also, we're keeping a lot of stuff in front of us too. Nothing deep or anything like that. So Logan Ryan's doing good. Xavier McKinney's doing good. So hopefully, we can maybe certainly pick up another safety or so, maybe in the draft next year. But it looks like if we let Jabrill Peppers go, it looks like we're okay, for the time being at safety. All right, as long as the guys can stay healthy. Tay Crowder had 9 tackles and 2 passes defensed. All right, he's had some rough games of late, but 9 tackles, all right, very, very good. The defense had 8 passes defensed. Very good, very, very impressive, okay. The past 3 games, the defense has given up 3 points. They gave up 20 points on the road to the Chiefs, and they gave up 16 points. Very good. They gave up 39 points in the last 3 games combined. They're averaging, the last 3 games, they're averaging giving up 13 points a game. Very, very impressive. They've only given up 3 touchdowns in their last 3 games. Very, very good. And it kind of makes you wonder, where was some of this defense at? But hopefully they can keep it up. Hopefully. We'll have to wait and see. Quincy Rochet, huh? Thank you, Pittsburgh, for letting this guy go. Quincy Rochet coming into the game didn't have a sack, okay? But he only played a decent amount of snaps, and this is maybe his 4th game, I think. He's only played a decent amount of snaps, so he finally got his first sack. All right, he had 4 tackles. He had the game-saving sack, strip ball. Leonard Williams fell on it, right? And he had 2 quarterback hits as well, too. So he's looking good. I mean, we got got Azeez on one side. Now he's not. he is solid. Okay, we could certainly use another edge rusher, no, without question. I got to look to see if Ellerson Smith had any snaps at all. I didn't see him in the tackle department. So when Pro Football Focus comes out with their numbers, okay, this will be my video tomorrow. I'll look and see how many snaps Ellerson Smith was actually in the game. But it'd be nice to see him start getting some snaps, all right? But at least Quincy Rochet looks like, and he's a rookie, right? Rookie. All right, so cheap rookie. He's like a 6th rounder, I think he is. So hopefully he's a keeper, all right? And I'm not saying he's an all-pro or Hall of Famer or anything like that, but some good, decent on the edge, okay? And if he winds up being a backup or something, he's not in all the time, good quality, a person to have on the team, without question. We're so lucky we wound up getting him. And you got the X-Man was a healthy scratch, so he didn't play at all. So I wonder if it's because of his penalty from last week, blowing the interception when Darnay Holmes picked the pass off. So I wonder if that had anything to do with it. But the X-Man wasn't in there. So then we got the Raiders in the red zone. All right, we're only 1 out of 6. Very good. Bend but don't break. They got in the red zone 6 times, and they only wound up with 16 points all game. Wow, 6 times. But it was bend but don't break. The Giants defense had a hard time stopping. It had the 3 turnovers, okay, but other than that, the Raiders only punted 2 times. The Raiders kept walking up and down the field. They got into the red zone 6 times, but they only scored 1 touchdown, which was huge, absolutely huge. The defense got 3 turnovers, all right, the 2 interceptions and a fumble, which I can't say saved him because they still, even if you just say sacked them, they still would have had to score a touchdown. So, but it ended the game. That sack by Quincy Rochet. The Raiders were only 4 for 12 on 3rd down, 33%. So that was very, very good. Okay, the defense did give up over 400 yards, but our offense wasn't, was on the field a decent amount of the time, but our offense wasn't really walking up and down the field constantly, didn't have a lot of yardage and all that and everything, So it was a bend but don't break. The Raiders have a good offense. You got to give them that, okay? And they got over 400 yards, but bend but don't break. And the last 19 years after a bye, the Raiders are 3-16. Can you imagine that? You're supposed to be like 16-3. After a bye, you got 2 weeks to rest up and be prepared for your opponent, and the Raiders are 3-16 after a bye. Wow. The defense, okay, gave up 117 yards on 20 carries, right? They gave up 5.9 yards per carry. Not very good, okay? And the draft next year, I'd like to see him get maybe in the 2nd round or something. They got to get the two lines. They need another edge rush. Somebody between the 3 guys, whether it's 3 tackles or the 2 ends and a nose tackle, whatever you want to say, and then the 2 edge rushers. There's 5 guys. They got to get somebody there, and then I'm looking at at least maybe 2, hopefully 2 offensive linemen. So they got to get somebody really good. I said maybe they can get a good edge rush, a decent edge rush, maybe in the 3rd round, or maybe somebody else in the 2nd round. But they got to get I'd like to see 2 offensive linemen, but they need somebody up there too, and maybe somebody can get a little pressure or help solidify the run game a little bit, because I'm seeing some nice size holes being opened up. Sometimes the edge, it's like guys just run around the edge, and I'm like, where the hell's the guy? I'm looking, where's the guy supposed to be setting the edge, and just. So I'd like to see him get somebody up front, what I said, whether it's on the defensive front or the edge rushers, like in the 1st or 2nd round next year. That would really be good, just to especially help out the run game. They only gave up 1 TD in the 1st quarter, all right, and nothing after that except for field goals. It was back-to-back touchdowns, right? The Giants got a touchdown, their opening drive. Then the Raiders got a touchdown, their opening drive. And then after that, it was nothing but field goals, offensively, right? The whole rest of the game, nobody scored a touchdown offensively. The rest of the game, weird. And then they held the Raiders to after the sack, all right, and the fumble by Daniel Jones. They held. All right, it was at the 30-yard line. I think they recovered it. The defense held the Raiders out of the end zone. They held them to a field goal. Okay, there was no stupid BS bullshit responses by Joe Judge about the headsets going out. No stupid timeout. We actually had timeouts at the end of the half. You know, no stupid excuses. We didn't beat ourselves. No stupid penalties. Nothing. None of that stuff. All right. So it was a good, solid win. All right. And tonight, you got to be a big Steelers fan, okay? Because they're playing against the Bears, as we know. I think it's in Pittsburgh. All right. The Bears are 3-5. You want them to lose this. You want them to go 3-6. I think we're picking. Got the Bears. I think they'll go into this weekend. The Bears were picking 11th. So if the Bears lose this and go 3-6. We should have a top 10 pick next year for the Chicago Bears. So that would be freaking huge. I mean, I don't know what we're gonna what we're gonna do in the second half as far as what our record's gonna be. But I mean, at least if we can get the Bears to have a bad record and be at least if we can get at least have one top 10 pick, that would be absolutely phenomenal. But obviously that's next year. But we got the bye. We start getting some guys healthy. Hopefully, and we can really, in the second half of the season, we got some winnable games. Now, we're going to reach 500, who knows. But if we can get some guys back, get healthy, knock on wood, stay healthy, all right, we got some winnable games, and hopefully, we can come out of this season with at least a decent record. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there, and go Giants! Woo!